Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a live showing of WBFR Playhouse of the Air. We thank you for braving the weather this Christmas Eve, and you'll be glad you did when you hear the story we have for you tonight. It's a Wonderful Life. Yes, very good, very good. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Now remember, this evening's program is being broadcast live from coast to coast, and our listeners are counting on your reactions as a part of their listening pleasure. So please don't be shy and feel free to laugh, applaud, swoon, or cry just as loudly as the spirit moves. I'm getting the signal from our stage manager now that we will be going on the air in just less than 3 minutes, which gives me just enough time to introduce you to the fine acting ensemble we have for you tonight. First off, you know him from Chick Carter, Boy Detective, and Cowboy Romance. Playing George Bailey, the hero of tonight's story, is Mr. Jake Lawrence. Completed filming Dottie Goes Bananas, a Technicolor spectacle. As his leading lady, Mary Hatch, we bring you Miss Ohio 1943, Miss Sally Applewhite. Our next little lady in roles ranging from Mother Cabrini to Salome. And playing small-town siren Violet Bick in tonight's production is Miss Lana Sherwood. New comedy, The Hick Chick. And playing Uncle Billy and Clarence the Angel in tonight's production is Mr. Harry Jasbo Hayward. Playing Miss Rose Bailey, George's mother, is Kitty Lou Meadows. Larry Miller plays Harry Bailey, Peter Bailey, Pete Bailey, Sam Wainwright, Nick, and Ernie the cab driver. Playing young George Bailey, Dr. Campo, Mr. Martini, Beaky the Bouncer, and Rick the Cop is Robert Charles. Peggy Sue Thompson plays Little Miss Zuzu Bailey. Playing Mr. Welch, the bridgekeeper, the sheriff, and Tommy Bailey is Ronald Davis. Marilyn Carter, our stage manager, plays young Mary and Janie Bailey. Maurice Goodwin plays young Violet and old Mrs. Collins. Bonnie Wayne plays Ruth Dakin Bailey, Mrs. Thompson, and Mrs. Schultz. Playing Matilda and others in tonight's show is Carolyn Gibson. Marie Kelly plays Sadie Vance, the state examiner. As Edith Button and Mrs. Hatch is Gloria Jones. Oliver Brown plays Mrs. Charles and Harriet the Teller. Maggie Morris plays Josephine, Superintendent of the Angels. And lastly, host of Females Are Fabulous, playing Mr. Potter and Mr. Gower in tonight's production, I'm your host, Freddie Fomore. I'm getting the signal from our stage manager that we will be going on the air in 20 seconds. Thank you all for coming tonight, and enjoy the broadcast.
We are live in 5, 4, 3.
WBFR.
This is WBFR Playhouse of the Air. Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls, young and old, old and new. Greetings from WBFR Playhouse of the Air, right here in Studio A, Manhattan, New York. We thank you for coming tonight. I'm your host, Freddie Fomore, and it is my pleasure to bring you your favorite stories this and every week on WBFR Playhouse of the Air. Tonight, we bring you a real feel-good heartwarmer, perfect for this or any Christmas Eve. It's a Wonderful Life. We begin our story in the little town of Bedford Falls, New York, US of A, where a number of people in the town are praying for their friend, a typical American dreamer named George Bailey.
Dear God, please look over my husband, George.
George is a good boy. You know that. My son has always gone out of his way to give others a hand. Now it's him who needs the
Help,
help.
my big brother George. He's done so much for us all. More for me than I remember.
I remember all the times he would stay late after work, not ask a cent. The world needs more like George Bailey.
Bailey never thinks about himself. I wouldn't have a roof over my head if it
If it
wasn't for him.
I would have given up long ago. All I think about is myself. I must have taken the last cent
He had no sense of business, that George Bailey, just like his father. None of the Baileys were ever businessmen. It's his own fault if he wasn't prepared for times like these.
Please, I can't help but feel it's all my fault. Help him, Father. It's me who's putting him through all this. Something's the matter with Daddy.
Should we pray for him, Mommy?
Yes, Suzu, pray. Pray very hard.
The voices carry heavenward, where Josephine, superintendent of the angels, summons Clarence, an apprentice angel.
You sent for me, ma'am?
Yes, Clarence. A man down on Earth needs our help.
Splendid. Is he sick?
No, worse. He's discouraged. At exactly 10:45 p.m. tonight, Earth time, that man will be thinking seriously of throwing away God's greatest gift.
Oh, dear. His life. Then I only have an hour to dress. What are you wearing now?
He will spend that hour getting acquainted with George Bailey.
Ma'am, if I should accomplish this mission, might I perhaps earn my wings? I've been waiting over 200 years now, and, well, people are beginning to talk.
What's that book you've got there?
The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, ma'am. I was reading it when you sent it.
Oh, fine book. Excellent. Well, you do a good job with George Bailey, and we'll see about your wings.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, if you're going to help George, you'll need to know a little something about him. Look, see the town?
Why, yes. A group of young boys sledding down a snow-covered hill onto the ice. This is amazing. Yippee! Who's that?
That's your problem, George Bailey.
A boy?
That's him when he was 12, back in 1919. Something happens here you'll have to remember later on.
And here comes the scare baby, my kid brother Harry Bailey.
I'm not scared.
Come on, Harry!
Yippee!
Help! Help! Oh dear! Harry's fallen through the ice.
I'm coming, Harry. Make a chain, gang, a chain.
So his brother fell through the ice, but George saved him.
Yes, Clarence. And ever since, George has had a bad year. All that icy water, you understand.
Bad ear? Yes, ma'am.
The other event came a few months later. George took an after-school job at Old Man Gower's drugstore.
It's me, Mr. Gower, George Bailey.
You're late.
Yes, sir.
Hello, Mary.
Hello, Violet.
Hello, George.
2 cents worth of shoelaces, Violet?
Mary was here first.
I'm still thinking.
Shoelaces?
Please, Georgie.
I like him. You like every boy. What's wrong with that?
Here you are.
Bye, Georgie. See you later, Mary.
Made up your mind yet, Mary?
I'll take chocolate.
With coconuts?
I don't like coconuts.
You don't like coconuts? Say, brainless, don't you know where coconuts come from? Look at here. From Tahiti, the Fiji Islands, the Coral Sea.
What's that you've got there? A new magazine? I've never seen it before.
Of course you know. Only us explorers can get it. I've been nominated for a membership in the National Geographic Society. Let me get your ice cream.
Is this the ear you came here on? George Bailey, I'll love you to the day I die.
I'm going out exploring someday. You watch. And I'll have a couple of harems and 3 or 4 wives. Wait and see.
George!
Yes, sir?
You're not paid to be a hummingbird.
Yes, sir.
Bye, George.
Goodbye, Mary.
What was that piece of paper George just picked up?
It's a telegram from Mr. Gower. He found out this morning that his son died of influenza.
Oh, awful.
Yes, and he spent the afternoon drowning his grief in whiskey.
Mr. Gower, do you want something? Anything?
No.
Anything I can do back here?
No.
I'll get them, sir. What's this bottle, Mr. Gower?
Never mind that. Take those capsules over to Mrs. Blaine's.
Yes, sir. They had the diphtheria there, haven't they, sir? Is it a charge, sir?
Yeah, charge.
Mr. Gower.
Get going.
Yes, sir. Mr. Gower.
What is it?
Mr. Gower, that bottle you used. You put something wrong in those capsules.
What? Who do you think you're talking to?
You're hurting my sore ear.
Did you hear what I said? Get out of here!
Mr. Gower, you don't know what you're doing. You put something wrong in those capsules. I know you're unhappy. You got that telegram and you're upset, but it's not your fault, Mr. Gower. But look, Mr. Gower, look. This bottle you used to make the capsules, it's poison.
Poison?
Don't hit my sore ear.
Poison?
again.
No. George.
All I wanted was to make sure, Mr. Gower. I won't tell anyone. I know what you're feeling. I won't ever tell a soul. Hope to die I won't.
Oh, George.
Did he ever tell anyone about those pills?
Not a soul.
Did he ever marry the girl? Did he ever go out exploring?
We'll get there soon enough, Clarence. When George Bailey grew up, he wanted to go to college, but there just wasn't the money. So he worked 4 years in the Building and Loan Association.
Building and Loan Association?
George's father was in the building and loan business, along with George's Uncle Billy.
George, what's the combination to the safe? We wrote it down so you wouldn't forget it. That's right. Where? Your wallet, Uncle Billy. Thanks.
Lovable fellow, just forgetful is all.
Who's that?
That's Henry F. Potter, the richest and meanest man in all the county.
Peter, Potter's here.
Mr. Barely, Mr. Barely, Mr. Barely, there is nothing quite so loathsome as a family business. Now, Peter, you know exactly what I'm here for. I'm on a very tight schedule. A family to evict in 3.
Okay then, Mr. Potter, here's the thing. I just need a little more time, just 30 short days. I'll dig up that 5,000.
Have you put any real pressure on those people of yours to pay their mortgages?
Times are hard, Mr. Potter. A lot of people are out of work.
Well, then foreclose.
I can't do that. These families have children.
Well, they're not my children.
Well, they're somebody's children, Mr.
What
Potter.
are you running, a business or a charity ward?
Well,
Not with my money.
Mr. Potter, what makes you such a hard-souled character? You have no family, no children. You can't begin to spend all the money you've got.
Oh, so I suppose I should just give it to miserable failures like you and that idiot brother of yours to spend for me.
He's not a failure. You can't say that about my father.
George.
You're not. You're the biggest man in town.
All right, son, thanks. I'll talk to you tonight.
Don't let him say that about you, Pop.
Tonight.
What kind of business are you running here? Good God, man.
George worked for his father, saving enough to see him through the university. That summer, though, he was going to go to Europe. Old Man Gower surprised him with a big gift of a great big suitcase. On his way home from the store, he read into his friends, Ernie the cab driver and Bert the cop.
Hey, Ernie.
Hiya, George.
Hiya, Bert. Hey, George, what's the suitcase for?
I'm a rich tourist today. How about driving me home in style?
Sure, Your Highness, honk the cab. And for the carriage tray, I puts on my hat.
Good afternoon, Mr. Bailey. Looks like you're ready to get out of here.
Hello, Violet. Hey, you look good. That's some dress you got on there.
Oh, this old thing. Why, I only wear it when I don't care how I look. See you later.
How did you lie?
Yes.
Want to come along, Bert? We'll show you the town.
No thanks. I think I'll go home and see what the wife's doing.
Family man.
George saved up money to go away to college. His bags were packed and he was all set to go.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. It's hard to realize it's the last night at the Bailey boarding house.
We're sure gonna miss you, George.
I'm gonna miss you too, Pop. What's wrong? You look tired.
Oh, I had another tussle with old Henry Potter today.
Oh.
I thought when we put him on the board of directors, he'd ease up on us.
I wonder what's eating that old money-grubbing buzzard anyway.
Oh, he's a sick man. Sick in his mind, sick in his soul, if he has one. Hates everybody that has something he can't have. Hates us mostly, I guess. Hey, George, can I borrow your tuxedo sets?
Yeah, help yourself, Harry.
Where are they? In your suitcase?
I'm not taking a tuxedo on a cattle boat, you know?
Say, where'd you get that fine piece of luggage anyway?
Mr. Gower, it's a going-away present. And one of these days, you're gonna see that bag all covered with travel labels.
Hey, why don't you come to the dance tonight?
What, be bored to death?
Well, you couldn't want a better death. Lots of pretty girls. Hey, I gotta hurry. I wish we could send Harry to college with you, George.
Well, you got that all figured out, you see? He'll take my job at the building and loan, work there 4 years, and then he'll go.
He's pretty young for that job.
Well, no younger than I was.
You were born older, George. I suppose you know what you're gonna do after you get out of college.
Oh, well, you know what I talked about. Building things, designing new buildings, and planning modern cities.
Still, after that first million before you're 30?
No, I'll settle for half of that in cash.
Of course. It's just a hope. But you wouldn't consider coming back to the building and loan, would you?
Oh, I couldn't face being cooped up for the rest of my life in that shabby little office. Oh, I'm sorry, Pop. I didn't mean that remark. It's just, but this business of nickels and dimes and trying to spend your whole life trying to save 3 cents on a length of pipe, I'd go crazy. I just want to do something big, something important.
You know, George, I feel that in a small way we are doing something important. Satisfying a fundamental urge. It's not too much for a man to want his own roof and walls and fireplace, and we're helping him get those things in our shabby little office.
I know, Dad. I just wish I felt... But I've been hoarding pennies like a miser. I mean, most of my friends have already gone away and finished college. I just figured if I don't get away, I bust.
Yes, you're right, boy. This town ain't no place to live if you aren't willing to crawl to Potter. You get yourself an education and then get out of here.
I'm glad you see what I'm talking about. Say, I think I'll go down on Old Main Street. Last night in town and all.
Have a good time, son.
Who's that?
Why, that's Violet Bick.
The little girl from the candy counter?
That's right.
Hello, Georgie Porgy.
Hello, Vi.
What gives?
Nothing?
Where are you going?
Oh, I'll probably end up at the library.
Georgie, don't you ever get tired of just reading about things?
Yes. What are you doing tonight?
Nothing.
Are you game, Vi? What do you say we make a night of it?
Oh, I'd love it, Georgie. What do we do?
Let's go out in the fields and take off our shoes and walk in the grass.
Huh?
And then we can go up to Stewart Lake. It's beautiful up there in the moonlight. And then we can swim. And then we can climb Mount Bedford and smell the pines. And watch the sunrise against the peaks. And we can stay up there the whole night. I mean, everybody will be talking. It'll be a terrific scandal.
George, have you gone crazy? Walking the grass in my bare feet? Why, it's 10 miles up there to Mount Bedford. You think just because you... Oh!
Okay, just forget the whole thing.
Forget about what, George?
Oh, nothing, Sam.
You remember Mary, don't you?
Hi, George.
Hi, Mary.
Say, you wouldn't mind walking Mary home, would you, George?
Of course not. Do you mind, Mary?
I don't mind a bit.
Great, thanks.
So George walked Mary home. Is that important, Josephine?
I'd say it is, because even though Mary lived only 4 blocks away, it took them 2 hours to get there.
Buffalo girls, won't you come out tonight? Won't you come out tonight? Won't you come out tonight? Buffalo girls, won't you come out tonight? And dance by the light of the moon. Hot dog, oh boy, just like an organ. Gee whiz.
Beautiful!
If it wasn't, you know something, if it wasn't me talking, I'd say you were the prettiest girl in town.
Why don't you say it?
I don't know. Maybe I will. How old are you anyway?
18?
18?
Too young or too
Oh,
old?
no. Just right. Your age fits you. Hey, look where we are.
Oh, it's the old Granville house.
Yeah, I gotta throw a rock.
Oh, no, don't. I love this old house.
Well, no. Don't you know about deserted houses? You make a wish and throw a rock.
Oh, but George, it's such a lovely old place. I wished I lived there.
In there? I wouldn't live in there if I was a ghost. Now watch. Watch this. How about it, huh? Pretty good shot, huh? I broke a window.
What's your wish, George?
Well, not just one wish, Mary. A whole hatful. I'm shaking the dust of this crummy little town off my feet and I'm going to see the world. Italy, Greece, the Parthenon, the Colosseum. Then I'm coming back here to college and seeing what they know. And then I'm going to build things. I'm going to build airfields. I'm going to build skyscrapers 100 stories high. I'm going to build bridges a mile long. And then I'm going to... What? Are you going to throw a rock too? Hey, that's pretty good. What'd you wish for, Mary?
Oh, no, if I tell you, it may not come true.
Hey, Mary, what'd you wish for, huh? Do you want the moon? All you gotta do is just say the word now.
Okay, the moon, I'll take it. And then what?
And then what? Well, I'll throw a lasso around it and pull it down. And then you could swallow it, and it all dissolves, see? And then the moonbeams would shoot out of your fingers and hair and the ends of... Am I talking too much?
Yes, why don't you kiss her instead of talking her to death?
Who's that?
Oh, it's old Mrs. Collins on her front porch.
Oh, youth is wasted on the wrong people.
Hey, lady, hold on. Come back out here and I'll show you some kissing that'll put the hair back in your head. Come back out here.
George!
Uncle Billy?
George, get in the car quick. Your father's had a stroke.
I'm sorry. I've got to go, Mary.
George's father died that night, Clarence, so of course George couldn't go to Europe. But that fall, just as he was ready to go to college, the directors of the building and loan held a meeting. They were going to appoint a successor.
I want the board to know that George gave up his trip to Europe to help straighten things out here these past few weeks, and it was greatly appreciated. I think that's all we need you for, George. Good luck to you at school. I know you're anxious to make a train.
Yes, I have a taxi downstairs.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to get to my real purpose. I claim that this institution is not necessary for this town. Therefore, Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to dissolve the building and loan and turn its assets and liabilities over to the receiver.
It is too soon under Peter Bailey's death to discuss chloroforming the building and loan. It was his faith and devotion that are responsible for this organization.
I will go further than that. I will say that to the public, Peter Bailey was the building and loan.
Oh, that's fine, Potter, coming from you, considering you probably drove him to his grave.
Peter Bailey was not a businessman. I don't mean any disrespect to him, God rest his soul. He was a man of high ideals, so-called. But ideals without any common sense can ruin this town. What does that get us? A lazy, discontented rabble instead of a thrifty working class. And all because of a few starry-eyed dreamers like Peter Bailey, who stir them up and fill their heads with a lot of impossible hooey. Now
Just
say...
a minute. Now hold on, Mr. Potter. You're right when you say my father was no businessman. I know that. Why he even started this cheap penny-ante building and loan, I will never know. But neither you nor anybody else can say anything against his character. Because his whole life was... Why, in the 25 years since he and Uncle Billy started this place, he never once thought of himself. Isn't that right, Uncle Billy?
You got that right.
He didn't save enough money to send Harry to school, let alone me. But he did help a few people get out of your slums, Mr. Potter. And now what's wrong with that? Why, here, you're all businessmen here. Doesn't it make them better citizens? And doesn't it make them better customers? You said, what was it you said a minute ago? They'd have to wait and save up before they could even think of buying a decent home? Wait for what? Until their children grow up and leave them? Until they're so old and broken down that they... Do you know how long it takes for a working man to save $5,000? Just remember this, Mr. Potter, that this rabble you're talking about, they do most of the living and working and paying and dying in this community. Was it too much to have them work and pay and live and die with a couple of decent homes and a bath? No, my father didn't think so. People were human beings to him. But to you, a warped, frustrated old man, they're cattle. Well, he died, in my book, he died a much richer man than you'll ever be.
I am not interested in your book. I'm talking about the building
I
and
know
loan.
very well what you're talking about. You're talking about something that you cannot get your hands on, and it's galling you. That's what you're talking about. Well, I've said it too much. You're the board here. You do what you want with this thing. Just one more thing, though. This town needs this measly, one-horse institution if just to have someplace where they can come without calling to Potter. Come on, Uncle Billy.
Sentimental hogwash. I want my motion.
They're just coming out of the board meeting. I'll have to call you back. What happened, George? All we heard was a bunch of yelling.
Boy, oh boy, Matilda, you should have heard George.
Yeah, they're voting us down in there.
George, get out of here. You missed your boat trip. Do you want to miss college too? Don't worry about the board. They're only putting us out of business. So what? I can get another job. I'm only 55.
They're 58.
George, they voted Potter down. We're still in business.
Well, Pete, we're still in business. We're still in business.
But there's one condition, George. They've appointed you to take your father's place.
Point me? But I'm going to college. Uncle Billy here. He's your man.
You can keep him on. That's all right.
Now, let's get this thing straight. I'm leaving. I'm leaving right now, and I'm going to school. This is my last chance.
But George, you got to take it. They're going to vote with Potter otherwise.
So George Bailey didn't go to college?
That's right, Clarence. He gave his college money to his brother Harry, and Harry went instead.
But what happened to that good-looking girl? You know, Mary?
Oh, George saw her now and then. Not very often, though, because Mary went away to school, too. Anyway, George waited 4 years more for Harry to come back and take over the building and loan. Then he could still see the world. He planned to work in the oil fields of Venezuela.
There she blows. Say, Uncle Billy, do you know what the three most wonderful sounds on earth are?
Breakfast is served, lunch is served,
No. Take your chains, plane motors, and train whistles. Here's the professor now.
Well, if it is George Geographic Explorer Bailey, Uncle Billy, you haven't changed a bit.
Nobody ever changes around here. You know that.
Oh, I'm glad to see you.
Say, where's Mother?
She's home cooking the fatted calf. Come on, let's go.
Wait, this is Ruth Dakin.
Ruth Dakin Bailey, if you don't mind.
Huh?
Well, I'll warn you, I had a surprise. Here she is. Meet the wife.
Well, what do you know? Wife!
Well, how do you do? Wait, what am I doing? Congratulations! Harry, why didn't you tell somebody? And you, what's a pretty girl like you doing marrying this two-headed brother of mine?
Well, I'll tell you, it's purely mercenary. My father offered him a job.
Oh, he gets you and a job? Harry's coming. Runneth over. Come on, Ruth. Let's start ahead and leave the bags for the fellas.
All right.
George, About that job, Ruth spoke out of turn. I never said I'd take it. You've been holding the bag here for 4 years, and I won't let you down.
It's all right, Harry. It's all right.
And that night, the homecoming for Harry became his wedding party. Uncle Billy familiarized himself with the spirits.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I feel so good I could spit in Potter's eye. I think I will. Maybe I should go home, if you just point me in the right direction.
Right down there.
That way, huh? Okay, old building low pal, see you later. I'm all right.
George,
Yeah, I'm out here on the porch, Mother. Just thought I'd get some air.
wow. How do you like the new sister-in-law?
She's swell.
Looks like she'll keep Harry on his toes.
Yeah, keep him out of Bedford Falls anyway.
George, do you know that Mary Hatch is back from school?
Yeah?
Nice girl, Mary.
Uh-huh.
No, stop grumbling. Give me one good reason you shouldn't go and call on Mary.
Well, Sam Wainwright. Sam's crazy about her.
Well, she's not crazy about him.
Well, now, how do you know that? Did she discuss it with you?
Besides, Sam is away in New York, and you're here in Bedford Falls.
And all's fair in love and war?
I don't know about war.
All right, Mother. I think I'll go out and find the girl and do a little passionate necking.
Oh, George.
Bye, Mrs. Bailey. By the way, do you want any books from the library?
The library? George. George, you go and see Mary, you hear? Hello, George.
Hello, Mary. I just happened to be passing by.
Your mother phoned and said you were on your way to pay me a visit.
My mother just called you? Well, how did she know?
Well?
I didn't tell anybody. I just went for a walk and happened to be passing by. I just went for a walk. That's all. When did you get back?
Tuesday. Would you like to come in?
Well, I guess since I'm here. Say, where did you get that dress?
Do you like it?
It's all right. I thought you'd go back to New York with Sam and Francie and the rest of them.
Oh, I worked there a couple of vacations, but I don't know, I just guess I got homesick.
Homesick for Bedford Falls?
Yes, and my family and, oh, everything. Would you like to sit down?
Oh, all right, for a minute. I still can't understand it, though. You know, I didn't tell anybody I was coming here.
Would you rather leave?
No, I don't want to.
Oh, it was nice about Ruth and Harry, huh?
Oh, yeah, that's all right.
Don't you like her?
Well, of course I like her. She's a peach.
Oh, it's just marriage in general you're not enthusiastic about, huh?
No, marriage is okay for Harry and Sam Wainwright and you.
Mary, who's out there with you?
It's George Bailey, Mother.
George Bailey, what does he want?
Well, I don't know. What do you want, George?
Me? Nothing. I just came in to get warm.
He's making violent love to me, Mother.
You tell him to go right back home this instant, and don't you leave the house. Sam Wainwright promised to call from New York tonight, didn't he?
Your mother needn't to. You know I didn't come here to.
What did you come here for?
I don't know. You tell me. You're supposed to know everything. You tell me.
Oh, why don't you go home?
That's where I'm going. I don't know why I came here in the first place.
Mary, the telephone, it's Sam.
I'll get it. Hee-haw. Hello, Sam. How are you?
Oh, great. It's good to hear your voice again. How are you?
Oh, that's awfully sweet of you to say, Sam. Oh, there's an old friend of yours here, George Bailey.
You mean old Mossback George?
Yes, old Mossback George.
Hee-haw, put him on.
Wait a minute, I'll call him. George?
He doesn't want to speak to George, you idiot.
He does so. He asked for him. George? Oh, Sam wants to speak to you.
Hello, Sam?
Hey, a fine pal you are. What are you trying to do, steal my girl?
Oh, what do you mean? Nobody's trying to
No way,
steal
dude.
your girl?
I want to talk to the both of you. Get Mary on the extension.
Mother's on the extension.
I am not!
We can both hear you. George, put your head a little closer.
Okay.
There. That's better. We're listening, Sam.
I have a big deal coming up. It's going to make us all rich. George, you remember that night at Martini's bar when you told me about making plastics out of soybeans?
Yeah. Soybeans, yeah.
Well, my father's checked into it, and see, George, he's gonna build a factory outside of Rochester. What do you think about that?
Rochester? Well, why Rochester?
Well, why not? Can you think of anything better?
Oh, I don't know. Why not right here in Bedford Falls? Remember that old tool and machinery works? You tell your father he can get that for a song. And all the labor he wants too. I mean, half the town was thrown out of work when they closed down.
That so? Well, I'll tell him. Hey, that sounds great. I knew you'd come through. Now here's the point, George. I may have a job for you. That is, unless you're still married to that old, building and loan. Oh, Mary?
Yes, I'm here.
You tell that guy I'm giving him a chance of a lifetime, you hear?
He says it's a chance of a lifetime.
Give me that phone! Now you listen to me, Mary! I don't want any plastics, and I don't want any job, and I don't want to get married to anyone, ever! Do you understand that? I want to do what I want to do, and you're not going to... You're not going... Oh, Mary.
Oh, George.
Mary, I love you.
George, I love you too.
We will return to WBFR Playhouse of the Air's presentation of It's Wonderful Life in just a few moments. But first... Gentlemen! Does your hair resemble a dried out bird's nest full of dandruff flakes?
Tweet, tweet, tweet!
Do you blast your hair down like a cheap gigolo smelling to high heaven?
Ew!
When girls get a gander at the tip top of your noggin, do they go?
Ew!
Well, here's a friendly hint that may just help you out in the romance department. Starting tomorrow, why not try Bremel Hair Tonic? Yes, sirree, you'll be heading for success. Bremel groomed hair, a success with the gals and on the job. Bremel always keeps hair looking mighty attractive, always in place. A real sex appealer. Bremel Hair Tonic. It does lots more than keep your hair handsome looking.
Bremel, the swank hair tonic, makes your filthy bird's nest gleam. A little dab will do ya, all the pretty gals will scream. Not only will dames love it, your barber will shout out with glee. Bremel, the swank hair tonic, your dandruff will be history.
Buy some Bremel today. Your hair will thank you. Now, back to our presentation of It's Wonderful Life.
George and Mary were married, and following the wedding and reception, George's old pal Ernie, the cab driver, drove the happy couple to the train station.
Hey, where are you two going on this here now honeymoon?
We're gonna shoot the works, Ernie. A whole week in New York, a whole week in Bermuda, the highest hotels, the oldest champagne, the richest caviar, the hottest music, the prettiest wife.
Here's the kitty, Ernie. $2,000. I feel like a bootlegger's wife.
So you're finally getting out of bed for false, huh? Then what?
Then what, honey?
After that, who cares?
You say, that does it. Now, Mrs. Bailey, I haven't kissed you since...
Hey, George, look over there. There's something funny going on over at the bank. It looks like a run.
Pull over there a minute, will you, honey?
Oh, no, George, please. Let's go straight to the station.
Look, I better go check this out. I'll be right back.
George, please. George!
What is this, Uncle Billy, a holiday? Why are the doors locked? There's a crowd out front.
This is a pickle, George.
All right, now what happened?
All I know is the bank called our loan. I had to handle all our cash.
All of it?
Every last cent of it.
Holy mackerel.
And then I got scared, George, and I closed the doors.
Our charter says we need to stay open until 6 o'clock, though, or we'll lose our license.
Bailey Brother building
Get
alone.
me, George.
George, it's Mr. Potter.
Hello?
George, there's a rumor going around town that you've closed your doors. Is that true?
No, it isn't.
Do you need any police? Mobs can get pretty ugly at sometimes like these, you know.
We're fine.
We'll see. Now, George, I'm going all out to help in this crisis. I've just guaranteed the bank sufficient funds to meet their needs. They'll close for a week and then reopen. I may lose a fortune, but I'm willing to guarantee your people too. Just tell them to bring their shares over here, and I will pay them all 50 cents on the dollar.
You don't miss a trick, do you, Potter? You're gonna miss this one.
If you close your doors before 6 p.m., you will never reopen.
You took over the bank, Billy. Open the doors, let them in. Now, just remember that this thing isn't as black as it appears. I have some news for you folks. I just talked to Old Man Potter, and he's guaranteed cash payments at the bank.
How about our money, George? Where's our money?
No, please, wait a minute. Now, listen to me. The money's not here. You're thinking of this place all wrong.
Where is it then?
No, wait a minute. Let me tell you. Your money is in people's houses, in the Kennedy house, in the McLaren house, and in your house, and 100 others. Now, what are you gonna do, foreclose on them?
I got $242 in here. $242 ain't gonna break anybody.
All right, Mrs. Charles. You get your money in 60 days.
60 days?
Well, now that's what you agreed to when you bought your shares.
I got my money. Old Man Potter's taking over the bank. He'll pay you 50 cents on every dollar.
Now, wait a minute, please, folks. Please don't leave. I beg of you not to do this. If Potter gets a hold of your shares, he'll be owning this building and loan. He's got the bank, he's got the bus line, he's got the department stores, and now he's after us. Because he wants to keep you living in his shacks and paying the kind of rent he decides to charge. Now, we can get through this, but we just have to stick together. We've got to have faith in each other.
My husband's out of work. We need money.
I got doctor's bills to pay.
I can't feed my kids on faith.
Well, how much money do you need? We still have some money from the wedding. We've got $2,000.
Yeah, hey, Mary, I got $2,000 here. This'll tide us over till the bank reopens. Mrs. Charles, now how much do you need?
$242.
Mrs. Charles, just enough to tide you over until the bank reopens.
I'll take $242.
Okay. Uncle Billy, give Mrs. Charles $242. Now, Edith, how much to get you by?
$20, I suppose.
Now we're talking. Okay, Mrs. Thompson, what about you?
But it's your own money, George.
Never mind that. Just how much do you need, Mrs. Thompson?
Could I have $17.50?
17? Yes, bless your heart, of course you can have it. Uncle Billy, give her $17.50. Just pay back when you can now, pay back when you can. All right, who's next?
Look at the clock. Look.
5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3, 2, 1. 6 o'clock, we made it!
We made it.
Now lock that door, Uncle Billy. Boy, we're still in business, and we've got $2 left.
Bailey wasn't building and... Oh, just a minute, George. There's a call for you.
Look, we get my wife on the phone. She's probably worried sick.
Mrs. Bailey is on the phone.
I don't want Mrs. Bailey. I want my wife. Oh, Mrs. Bailey. That's my wife. Hello, Mary? Hello, listen, dear. I'm sorry. What? Come home? What home? 320 Sycamore? Well, whose home is that? The Waldorf Hotel, huh?
That doesn't look like the Waldorf.
Oh no. Number 320 Sycamore was the old Granville house, the one George and Mary threw rocks at and made wishes. Mary had prepared the house, including a turkey dinner, romantic decorations, and even a marriage bed.
Welcome home, Mr. Bailey.
Well, I'll be.
Remember when we threw rocks at this old place? This is what I wished for.
Darling, you're wonderful.
Yes, sir, that's where they spent their honeymoon. That's where they started their lives together. Mary made the leaky old house a home while George toiled away at the building and loan office, providing houses for people like Giuseppe Martini. Hey, Martini, you renting a new house?
Rent? Ha! You hear that, Mr. Bailey? I own this house. Me, Giuseppe Martini. I own my own house. No more we live like pigs in Pottersfield.
We have something for you and your family, Mr. Martini. George and I bring something for all the new owners.
For the Martinis? Maria, come quick. Our first housewarming gifts. Bring the kids.
Bread, so that this house may never know hunger. Salt, so that life may always have flavor.
And wine, that joy and prosperity may reign forever. Enter the Martini Castle.
Bailey houses were popping up all over the place, mostly owned by people that used to live in Pottersfield. And Potter had just about enough of that. So after a couple of years, old man Potter decided to call our George into his office.
Sit down, George, sit down. Have a cigar.
Thank you, sir. Quite a cigar, Mr. Potter.
You like it? Great. I'll send you a box.
Well, I suppose I'll find out sooner or later, but what exactly did you want to see me about?
Ah, George, that's just what I like so much about you. George, I'm an old man, and most people hate me. But I don't like them either, so that makes it all even. You know just as well as I do that I run practically everything in this town, but the Bailey Building and Loan. You also know that for a number of years I've been trying to get control of it, or kill it. But you've been stopping me, and I haven't been able to do it. In fact, you have beaten me, George, and that takes some doing. Take during the Depression, for instance. You and I were the only ones that kept our heads. You saved the building and loan, and I saved all the rest.
Well, most people say you stole all the rest.
The envious ones say that, George, the suckers. Now, let's look at your side. Young man, 27, 28, married, making, say, 40 a week.
45!
45.
45.
Now, if you were some ordinary yokel, I would say you were doing just fine. But George Bailey is intelligent, ambitious. He hates the building and loan almost as much as I do. He's been dying to get out of town ever since he was born. A young man, the smartest one of the crowd, mind you, who has to sit by and watch his friends go places because he's trapped. Trapped into frittering his life away, playing nursemaid to a lot of garlic eaters. Do I paint a correct picture, George, or do I exaggerate?
What's your point, Mr. Potter?
My point is you're the only man in town who's managed to lick me. And for that, I want to hire you. Manage my affairs. I'll start you out at $20,000 a year.
$20,000 a year?
You wouldn't mind living in the nicest house in town, buying your wife a lot of fine clothes, a couple of business trips once in a while to New York, maybe even Europe. You wouldn't mind that, would you, George?
Would I? You're not talking to somebody else around here, are you? Are you sure you're talking to me? I'm George Bailey, remember?
Yes, George Bailey, whose ship has just come in, providing he has the brains enough to climb aboard.
Well, what about the building and loan?
No, confound it, man. I'm offering you a 3-year contract at $20,000 a year. Is it a deal or isn't it?
Mr. Potter, I know I ought to jump at the chance, but I wonder if you might give me 24 hours to think about it.
Sure. You go home and talk to your wife.
Yeah, I'd like that.
In the meantime, I'll draw off the papers, and soon you will be managing my affairs.
Your affairs. No! The answer's no, doggone it! You sit here and you spin your little webs and you think the whole world revolves around you and your money. Well, it doesn't, Mr. Potter. In the vast configuration of things, I'd say you're nothing but a scary little spider!
What did Mr. Potter want, George?
Nothing, just talk. Nothing. Oh, gee, Mary Hatch. What are you thinking, marrying a guy like me anyway?
To keep from being an old maid?
I was going to see the world. I was going to build things. I was going to give you the moon. What have I given you? Not even a new dress? Not for months. You could have married Sam Wainwright. Anybody else in town.
I didn't want to marry anyone else in town. I want my baby to look like you.
You didn't even have a honeymoon. You're what?
My baby.
You mean, Mary, you're on the nest?
George Bailey Lasso Stork.
Well, Mary had her baby, a boy.
You don't say.
Then she had a girl.
Well, what do you know?
Night after night, George would come home late from the office. Things weren't good with the building and loan. Potter was really bearing down hard. Then came the war. Mary had another baby by then, but still had time to run the USO. Gower and Uncle Billy sold war bonds. Violet entertained the troops. Bert the cop was wounded in North Africa, got the Silver Star. Arnie the taxi driver parachuted into France. But Harry Bailey topped them all. A Navy flyer who shot down 15 planes, 2 of them as they were about to crash into a transport full of soldiers.
Yes, but George. What about George?
George, for as on account of his ear, George fought the Battle of Bedford Falls. Air raid warden, paper drives, scrap drives, rubber drives. On VE Day, he wept and prayed. VJ Day, he wept and prayed again.
We're getting pretty close to today, aren't we, ma'am?
Yes, Clarence, you now know almost everything you have to about George Bailey. except that one that happened that finds him down there at this moment wanting to die.
Well, ma'am, well,
Well, today is the day before Christmas, and Billy is at the bank to make a deposit when he runs into Old Man Potter.
well, Mr. Henry F. Potter. Come to the bank to deposit some more loot, huh?
Sure, you old fool.
How do you like the news in the paper, Mr. Potter? Harry Bailey wins Congressional Medal of Honor. Just can't keep those Bailey boys down, can you?
Let me see that newspaper.
Here you go. Sorry, I can't shut you, old thief. Gotta make a deposit.
Good morning, Mr. Bailey.
Good morning, Harriet. Here you are, deposit slip, bank book, and a very Merry Christmas to you.
You too, Mr. Bailey. Say, you've forgotten something, haven't you?
What's that?
You want to make a deposit.
Well, certainly.
It's customary to bring money with you.
It's gone. Where'd I put it? Where'd I put that money?
A terrible thing, Clarence. Terrible. Uncle Billy couldn't find the money because the envelope with the $8,000 was folded up in the newspaper he gave to Old Man Potter. At the same time as Billy started looking for the deposit, Violet came to visit George at the building and loan.
Oh, hello, Vi.
Suppose you're getting things set back at the house for the party tonight.
You know you're invited. What's wrong?
You see right through me, don't you?
How much you need?
I hate doing this to you, George, but I won't be asking for any more after this.
You planning on robbing a bank, Vi?
I'm going to Manhattan.
What's in Manhattan?
Why, everything's in Manhattan. A new start, at least.
Well, that's a big step, Vi. What's the matter with starting a new life right here in Bedford Falls?
Well, I'll be. Never thought I'd hear that from you, George Bailey. I thought you hated this place.
I did, but this town has a charm of its own.
You should give tours, maybe.
I'm just thinking of you, Violet. Manhattan's a big place to take on your own.
I've made a decision. There's a midnight train tonight, and I plan to be on it.
It takes a lot of character to leave your hometown and start all over again like that. Here's some dough.
No, George, don't.
What do you want to do, hawk your furs and that hat? You want to walk to New York? You know they charge for meals and rent up there just the same as they do in Bedford Falls.
Yeah, sure.
It's a loan. That's my business, building and loan. Besides, you'll get a job. Good luck to you.
I'm glad I know you, George Bailey.
Say hello to Manhattan for me.
Merry Christmas, George.
George!
Uncle? What's going on? The bank examiner's coming today and I...
Today?
Yeah. She wants the accounts payable. Well, what's the matter with you?
The money, the 8,000.
What, Uncle Billy? What happened to it?
I don't know. I was going to make a deposit, and when I went to the bank, I didn't have it.
$8,000, Uncle Billy. The bank examiner's in town, and it's not our money. It belongs to the depositors.
I'm so sorry, George. I didn't know that happened.
Well, the first place you look is in your coat pocket. I told you to put it in there when you left.
Oh, I'm no good to you, George. I'm no good.
Let's go then. We have to retrace your steps. We'll leave no stone unturned.
And as George and Billy went looking for the deposit, Potter had a meeting with the state bank examiner, a Miss Sadie Vance.
The whole town's turned upside down with the Bailey Boys' homecoming, Congressional Medal and all.
I guess they do things like that.
May I look at your paper?
Go ahead.
This is a deposit from Bailey.
That old fool Billy Bailey gave me that newspaper.
Well, you're going to deposit it for him, right, Potter?
To think he would make such a foolish mistake. Look at how much it is.
There's $8,000 here.
What a Christmas present! And he doesn't even know it!
Just a minute here, Potter. I know you've been giving the Baileys a hard time, far back as I can remember. Why?
I don't have to give answers to you. You're just a state examiner.
Yes, I am. But I'm unimpressed by buying off everyone in town. Oh, that's it. You never could buy the Baileys.
What?
You heard what I said. The Baileys have always stood for something that you were so jealous of. They're honest.
You're fired!
You can't fire me. I'm state appointed. And what's more, I'm not turning my back. This is stealing from the Baileys. Something like this would certainly cause them to fold.
Yes, and after 25 years. Finest keepers, you know that. He gave me the money. It was his own fault. Besides, there's not a court in the county that would find me guilty.
We all know why.
How's your family, Sadie?
My family?
I know just how little state positions pay. What would you say to a little Christmas bonus?
I want no part of this.
That's not what I've heard.
What are you insinuating, Potter?
I will not be turned down.
What do you want me to do?
I would like you to pay the Baileys a surprise visit. You'll see the records, they'll be short, you know the rest. At last, the Baileys will be where they belong. Down for good!
I know just what to do.
And did you put the envelope in your pocket?
Yeah, maybe.
Uncle Billy, we've got to find that money.
I'm no good to you, George.
Do you have any secret hiding place here in the house?
I've gone all over the whole house, even in the rooms that have been locked since I lost your Aunt Laura.
Listen to me. Think.
I can't think anymore, George. It hurts.
Where's that money, you stupid, silly old fool? Do you realize what this means? It means bankruptcy and scandal and prison. One of us is going to jail. Well, it's not going to be me.
Hello, darling.
Hello, Daddy. Daddy, did you bring the wreath?
What wreath?
The Merry Christmas wreath.
Left it at the office.
Is it snowing?
Yeah, it just started.
Where's your coat and hat?
Left them at the office.
What's wrong?
Nothing's the matter. Everything's all right.
Isn't it wonderful about Harry? We're famous, George. I'll bet I had 50 calls today about the parade and the banquet. Your mother's so excited.
Why does she keep playing that?
I have to practice for the party tonight, Daddy.
Mommy says we can stay up until midnight and sing Christmas carols.
Can you sing, Daddy?
Better hurry and shave, George. The families will be here any minute.
Families? I don't want the families over here.
Excuse me.
Have a hectic day.
Oh yeah, another big red letter day for the Baileys.
Daddy, the Browns next door got a new car. You should go see it.
Well, what's the matter with our car? Isn't it good enough for you?
Yes, Daddy.
Excuse me.
Excuse you for what?
I burped.
All right, darling, you're excused. Now go upstairs and see what little Zuzu wants.
What's the matter with Zuzu?
Oh, she got a cold. Caught it coming home from school. They gave her a flower for a prize, and she didn't want to crush it, so she didn't button up her coat.
What is it, a sore throat?
The doctor says it's nothing serious.
Was the doctor here?
I called him right away.
Is she running a temperature?
Just a teensy one.
Gosh, this old house, I don't know why we don't all have pneumonia. This trappy old barn, might as well be living in a refrigerator. Why do we have to live here in the first place and stay around this measly, crummy old town?
George, what's wrong?
Wrong? Everything's wrong. Do you call this a happy family? Why do you have to have all these kids?
Dad, how do you spell frankincense?
I don't know. Ask your mother.
Where are you going?
Up to see Zuzu.
Hi, Daddy.
What happened to you?
I want a flower.
Where do you think you're going?
I want to give my flower a drink.
Here, just give Daddy the flower and I'll give it a drink.
Look, Daddy, some of the petals came off. Paste it.
Yeah, all right. Now, I'll paste this together. There it is, good as new.
Now give the flower a drink.
Now, will you do something for me?
What?
Will you try to get some sleep?
I'm not sleepy. I want to look at my flower.
I know, but you just go to sleep and then you can dream about it. And it'll be a whole garden.
It will?
Uh-huh.
Telephone.
I'll get it. Hello? Yes, this is Mrs. Bailey. Oh, thank you, Mrs. Welch. The doctor says she'll be out of bed in time for her Christmas dinner.
Is that Zuzu's teacher?
Yes.
Let me speak to her. Hello, Mrs. Welch? This is George Bailey. Say, what kind of teacher are you anyway? What do you mean sending her home like that half naked?
George?
Is this the sort of thing we pay taxes for? To have teachers like you, silly, stupid, careless people who send our kids home without any clothes on? That's stupid.
Hello? Mrs. Welch? I want to apologize. Hello? Hello? She hung up.
I'll hang her up.
Now, who do you think you are?
Hello? Mr. Welch? Okay, that's fine, who is this? Oh, Mr. Welch. Okay, that's fine, Mr. Welch. Give me a chance to tell you what I really think of your wife.
George?
Will you get out and let me handle this? Hello? Oh, you will, huh? Okay, Mr. Welch, anytime you think you're man enough. Hello?
Oh, Daddy, how do you spell hallelujah?
What do you think I am, a dictionary? Janie, haven't you learned that silly little tune yet? You've played it over and over and over again. Now stop it! Stop it!
George, what are you doing?
I'm sorry, Mary. Janie, I'm sorry too. I didn't mean... Go on and practice. Pete, I owe you an apology too. What'd you want to know?
Nothing, Daddy.
What's the matter with everybody? Trinity, I told you, go on. I told you to practice. Go on, play!
Oh, Daddy.
Oh, George, why must you torture the children like this? Oh, why don't you...
Mary!
Where's Daddy going?
Bedford, 217, please.
Is Daddy in trouble?
Yes, Pete.
Shall I pray for him?
Yes, Janie, pray. Pray very hard.
Me too.
Yes, you too, Tommy. Hello, Uncle Billy?
So that's it, George. You're short $8,000 in the books, eh?
Oh, please, Mr. Potter. I'll pay any sort of interest if you still want the building and loan.
You say it was lost. Did you notify the police?
No, sir. I haven't done it yet. Harry's homecoming.
Why did you come to me, George? What about your good friend Sam Wainwright?
I can't get a hold of him. He's in Europe.
What kind of security would I have? What collateral?
I have a life insurance policy. A $15,000 policy.
And how much is your equity in it?
$500.
Ah, and you want $8,000. Look at you. Used to be so cocky. You were going to go out and conquer the world. You once called me a warped, frustrated old man. What are you but a warped, frustrated young man? Crawling in here on your hands and knees for help. No liberties, no stocks, no bonds. You're worth more dead than you are alive. Why don't you go to that riffraff you love so much and ask them for help?
I'll do anything, Mr. Potter. Please, please, just help me, my wife.
You know what I'm going to do for you? As a stockholder of the building and loan, I'm calling the state examiner to get a warrant for your arrest. Misappropriation of
Mr.
funds,
Potter, please,
manipulation.
they can't really arrest me.
Go on and run. You can't hide in a little town like this. Merry Christmas, George. And now, more from our sponsors. Are you guilty of careless driving because bug spot windshield dulled your vision?
Yes, I'm guilty.
Well, stop straining to see through a bug-spattered windshield. Duck's toilet cake gets the squash bugs off quickly, easily. Yes, even when the sun has baked them in the glass.
Remember, you need clear vision as well as good brakes to avoid accidents. You'll find Duck's toilet cake leaves the glass polished so crystal clear you'll hardly know it's there.
I feel so much safer after I clean my windshield with Duck's toilet cake. It leaves no dangerous oily film to pick up dust and make night dining difficult.
Duck's toilet cake, the soap of 100 uses. You better wash high, you better wash low. Behind your ears too, I'm telling you so. Duck's toilet cake is cleaning uptown. It washes up cars, it washes up bars, and out in LA it washes up stars. Duck's toilet cake is cleaning uptown. It's found in every bathroom, from sea to shining sea. It's used by all our presidents, and it's used by you and me. You better wash high, you better wash low. Behind your ears too, I'm telling you so. Duck's toilet cake is cleaning uptown. Buy a cake of Duck's toilet soap today. Keep it in your car. Conclusion of It's a Wonderful Life. Merry Christmas, glad you come.
How about some like this spaghetti?
We got everything.
Where's George, ma'am? Where?
After running out of Potter's office, George ended up in Martini's bar. He's had a couple of drinks, Clarence. He's just sitting there.
What's he saying?
God, dear Father in heaven, I'm not a praying man, but if you're up there and you can hear me, show me the way. I'm at the end of my rope. Show me the way, God.
Are you all right, George? You want somebody to take you home?
Why you drink so much, my friend? You don't feel good. Please go home, Mr. Bailey.
Bailey? You say Bailey? Which Bailey?
This gentleman is Mr. Bailey, George Bailey.
George Bailey. Huh! Next time you talk to my wife like that, you'll get worse than it is enough she slays over your stupid kids how to read and write. Gotta ball her out.
You get out of here, Mr. Welch. You hit my best friend. You get out.
All right.
Mr. Bailey, you okay?
Who's that?
Mr. Welch. But don't worry. He won't come in this place no more. I'll get something for your face. It's bleeding.
I'm all right.
Please don't go away, Mr. Bailey. Please
Leave me alone. Just leave me alone.
George is headed to the bridge now. Clarence, can you see him?
He looks like he's going to jump.
It's time, Clarence.
Excuse me. You there? Have you got the time?
My watch is dead.
Thanks, just a sec. Help! Help me! I can't swim!
Hold it, mister, I'm coming.
What in San Ho are you two doing? This storm's not fit for man or beast. Now get out of there! Are you two alright? You need a doctor?
No, I'm all right.
No, I'm fine. Oh, this underwear. I didn't have time to get anything stylish. My wife gave it to me on my last birthday. I passed away in it. Passed away? Oh, I see Tom Sawyer struck too. Ooh, my book. I left in such a hurry I brought Tom Sawyer with me. You should read the new book Mark Twain is working on.
How'd you happen to fall in anyway?
Oh, I jumped in. I jumped in to save you.
You jumped in to save me?
Well, I did. Didn't I? You didn't go through with it.
Go through with what?
Suicide.
It's against the law to commit suicide around here.
Yeah, it's against the law where I come from, too.
Where do you come from?
Heather. What? I had that quickly. That's why I jumped in. I knew if I was drowning, you would try to save me. And you see, you did. And that's how I saved you.
Oh, that's very funny.
Your lip's bleeding, George.
Yeah, I got a bust in the jaws next to a prayer.
Oh, no, George. I'm the answer to your prayer.
How do you know my name?
Oh, I know all about you. I watched you grow up from a little boy.
What are you, a mind reader or something?
Oh, no.
Well, who are you then?
Clarence Oddbody. AS2.
Oddbody? AS2? Well, what is that, AS2?
Angels second class.
Hey, I'm getting out of here. You may not need a doctor, but I certainly do.
Cheerio, my good man.
Hey, look here. Why'd you want to save me?
Because I'm your guardian angel.
Wouldn't be a bit surprised.
Ridiculous of you to think of killing yourself for money. $8,000.
Yeah, just things like that. Now, how'd you know that?
I told you, I'm your guardian angel. I know everything about you.
Well, you look like the kind of angel I'd get. Sort of a fallen angel, aren't you? What happened to your wings?
I haven't won my wings yet. That's why I'm an angel of second class.
Oh, I see.
But you can help me earn them, George, by letting me help you.
You don't happen to have $8,000 on you, do you?
Oh, no, we don't use money in heaven.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Comes in pretty handy down here above. Found it out a little late. I'm worth more dead than alive.
Now look, you mustn't say things like that. I don't get my wings with that attitude. You just don't know all the things that you've done. If it hadn't been for
Yeah, if it hadn't been for me, everybody'd be a lot better off. My wife, my kids, my friends.
This isn't easy.
They'd all be better off if I hadn't been born to begin with.
What did you say?
I said I wish I'd never been born.
George, that's wonderful.
Wonderful?
The idea you just gave me. Well, you've got your wish. You've never been born.
Never been born?
Exactly. No worries. No $8,000 to get. Nothing. You simply don't exist.
Hey, wait a minute. This ear of mine, say something again.
You don't have a bad ear anymore. Don't you see? You're not the George Bailey you think you are. You're well, you're nobody.
Well, that's the doggonest thing.
Your lips stopped bleeding too, George.
Oh, what do you know about that? What happened? I need a drink, that's what I need. What about you, Angel, do you want a drink?
Well, I don't know.
Come on. We'll go as soon as our clothes dry.
Our clothes are dry.
Hey, so they are. That's funny, that stove's hotter than I thought. Well look, let's get dressed and we'll stroll down to Martini's. Oh, excuse me. I'll stroll, you can fly.
I haven't got my wings.
You haven't got your wings, yeah, that's right. couple of drinks and we'll both fly. There's a place to sit down. Sit down. Hello, Nick. Clarence, welcome to the best bar in Bedford Falls.
Bedford Falls. Don't you mean Pottersville?
Pottersville? Hey, where's Martini?
Look, I'm the boss. Do you want a drink or don't you?
Oh, okay, all right. Double bourbon. Make it quick, huh?
Okay. What's yours, bub?
I was just thinking of mulled wine.
Huh?
Heavy on the cinnamon and light on the cloves. Off with you, my lad, and lightly now.
Hey, look, mister. We serve hard drinks here for men who want to get drunk fast. We don't need any characters around here to give the joint atmosphere.
Now, come on here. Just give him the same as I ordered. He's okay.
2 double.
What about this place? It's all changed.
All of Bedford Falls has changed. You're having your wish, George. You've never been born. Oh, there'll be lots of things you've never seen. Oh, good. Somebody's just made it.
Made what?
Every time you hear a bell ring, it means that some angels just got his wings.
What'd you say?
Look, Clarence, I don't think you better talk about angels around here.
Don't they believe in angels?
Well, yeah, they believe in them, but, you know, it's just...
Well then, why should they be surprised when they see one?
Huh?
No, don't mind him, Nick. He just never grew up. How old are you, anyway?
293. Next minute.
That does it! Out, you two pixies. Go through the door or out the window. Go on, get it.
Where's Martini?
Will you tell him stop asking about Martini? He ain't here. Well. Look who crawled out from whatever hole he's been in.
Hey, it's Mr. Gower.
Hey, you rummy. Did I tell you to never come around here panhandling again?
George, look.
Mr. Gower, this is George Bailey. Don't you know me?
Will you buy me a drink, mister? Just one drink, please, mister.
Beaky, throw the rummy out.
You got it.
No, wait, no, please,
Hey,
no.
Nick, isn't that Mr. Gower the druggist?
That rumhead said 20 years in prison for poisoning some kid. If you know him, you must be a jailbird yourself. Beaky, here's 2 more. Throw them out.
You got it, boss.
Here, let me help you out. The snow is quite cold.
What's wrong with Mr. Gower?
Mr. Gower doesn't know you, George. You see, George, you weren't there to stop Gower from putting poison into the prescription.
What do you mean I wasn't there? What are you, a hypnotist? Why am I seeing all these strange things now?
Don't you see? It's because you were never born.
What do you mean? If I wasn't born, then who am I?
You're nobody. You have no identity.
No identity? What do you mean no identity? My name's George Bailey.
There is no George Bailey. You have no papers, no cards, no driver's license, no 4F card, no insurance policy.
Zuzu's petals.
What?
Zuzu's petals. My little girl, some petals fell off of her flower, and I told her I'd fix it. I stuck them in my pocket, but they're gone. Everything's gone.
But you've been given a great gift, George. The chance to see what the world would have been like if you'd never been born.
You're crazy! You're crazy as a bedbug, and you're making me crazy too. Now look, I'm going home to my family and my wife, and I'm going home alone.
You know the drill. Hands behind your back, sister.
Keep your hands off me. Why don't you bust somebody else for a change?
Hey, officer, where did the building and loan move to?
Building what?
The Bailey Building and Loan. It was up there.
They went out of business years ago. Now all that's left is burlesque house.
Not so fast, copper. I know Potter.
Hey, Violet! Hey, listen, that's Violet Bick.
Oh, I know. Believe me, I know.
I know that girl.
Who doesn't? Now get out of her way.
Taxi! Hey, Ernie, take me home. I'm going off my nut.
Where do you live?
No, doggone it, Ernie. Don't you start pulling that stuff. You know where I live. 320 Sycamore. Now step on it, huh?
Okay, 320 Sycamore?
Yeah. Hurry up, Zuzu's sick.
All right.
Look here, Ernie, straighten me out. I've got some bad liquor or something. Listen to me. Now, you are Ernie Bishop, and you live in Bailey Park with your wife and kid. That's true, ain't it?
You see my wife?
Seen your wife? I've been to your house 100 times.
Look, bud, what's the idea? I live in a shack in Pottersfield, and my wife ran away 3 years ago and took the kid. And I never seen you before in my life.
Oh, okay, just step on it. Just get me home.
Is this the place?
Of course it's the place.
Well, this house ain't been lived in for over 20 years.
Mary, I'm home. Pete, Tommy, Janie, Zuzu, where are you?
They're not here, George. You have no children.
Where are they, Clarence? What have you done with them?
All right, put up your hands.
What's this?
No fast moves. Come on out here, both of you.
Bert, thank heaven you're here. What's happened to this house? Where's Mary? Where are my kids?
Watch him, Bert. Come on, come on. I'm gonna take you down to the station.
Bert, now listen to me. It's that fellow there. He says he's an angel. He's trying to hypnotize me.
Don't make me use my nightstick.
Bert, I have to do this. I hate to do this, but... Run, George! Run, George! Ma Bailey's boarding house?
Well?
Mother?
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 What do you want?
Mother, this is George. I thought sure you'd remember me.
George who? If you're looking for a room, there's no vacancy.
Oh, Mother, please. Try to understand. Something's happened to me. I don't know what it is, but I need a place to stay. Please let me stay here.
I don't take in strangers.
I'm not a stranger. I know everybody you know. Your brother-in-law, Uncle Billy.
You know him?
Well, sure I do.
When did you see him last?
Today, over in his house.
That's a lie. He's been in the insane asylum ever since he lost his business. And if you ask me, that's where you belong.
I'm here again, George.
My mother. My own mother didn't even know me.
Strange, isn't it? One man's life touches so many others around him. And when he isn't around, he leaves a pretty big hole, doesn't he?
Look, I've heard of things like this before. You've got me under some kind of spell. Well, I'm gonna get out of it. I've got to. I know I saw Uncle Billy this afternoon. How can he be in an insane asylum? I've got to snap out of this now. Just think. Bailey Park.
There is no Bailey Park if you weren't here to build it.
Well, we'll see.
This is Bailey Park? People live here? Pretty grim.
This is where Bailey Park's supposed to be. What's this gravestone doing here? Why's the Bailey name on it?
That wouldn't be yours.
But my father's name is on it, but what's this other name? Wait, why is my brother Harry's name here?
Your brother broke through the ice and drowned at the age of 9.
That's a lie! Harry Bailey went to war! He got the Congressional Medal of Honor! He saved the lives of every man on that transport!
Every man on that transport died. Harry wasn't there to save them because you weren't there to save Harry. You see, George, you really had a wonderful life. Don't you see what a mistake it would be to throw it all away?
What do I do now then, Clarence? What do I do?
It's your life, George.
What happened to Mary, Clarence?
Mary?
My wife, Mary. What happened to her if I was never born?
I'm not supposed to tell you, George.
Where is she? Clarence, I don't know how you know the things you do, but please, if you know where she is, just let me see her. That's all I need to make a decision.
Very well, George, but you're not going to like it.
Where is she?
She's an old maid, George.
Where is she?
You're just about to close up the library. There must be some easier way to earn my wings.
Is the library closed?
Christmas Eve. We can't stay open all night.
Can I ask you something?
I should really be getting home.
What is there to go home to?
That is none of your business, sir. The library is closed. Maybe you should try back on 26th.
Mary, I'm sorry.
How do you know my name?
All I need is a couple of minutes.
I told you, the library is closed.
Please, just 2 minutes. That's all I need. I'll do anything.
You sound desperate. I'll help if I can. What is it?
Isn't this town Bedford Falls?
It used to be, but that was some time ago. I wasn't very old when Potter took the town along with its name for himself.
So you do know a place called Bedford Falls?
I've seen pictures. It looked like a lovely place. Things have changed, but that's with the times. I really must go.
Mary Hatch, you live on Reed Street, a white Victorian. Your bedroom is at the top of the stairs, and you turn left. You have an older brother, Marty, and you live with your mother, Edwina.
How do you know all this? What are you, some crazy person? Stop it, I'm leaving.
Don't you know me? Mary, just let me touch you.
Get your hands off me, I'll call the cops.
The house you wished for, don't you remember?
I I told you I don't know you. Let me go. Officer!
Don't you know me? You must. Mary, it's George. Don't you know me?
Let me go!
Mary, please. Oh, don't do this to me, please, Mary. Where are our kids? Help me.
What?
I need you, Mary. Help me, Mary.
Get away from me. Help! Help! Police!
Mary, it's George. Please, Mary, you're my wife.
I told you I don't know you. Please, just leave me alone.
Clarence, where are you? Help me, Clarence. Get me back. I don't care what happens to me. Only get me back to my wife and kids. Help me, Clarence. Please, I want to live again. Please, I want to live again. Oh God, please let me live again.
George, is that you, George?
Bert, now you get out of here, Bert. You come any closer and I'll hit you again.
What the Sam Hill are you yelling for, George?
Yeah, hey, come on. George, Bert, you know me?
Know you? I've been looking all over town for you. Where have you been?
Hey, Bert, I'm alive again, Bert.
You sure you're all right? Hey, your mouth's bleeding.
Is it? Hey, my mouth's bleeding. Look at the blood come out of there, would you? Zuzu's petals. Zuzu's petals, there they are. Oh, what do you know about that? Merry Christmas, Bert.
Well, Merry Christmas. Get in the car, I'll drive you home.
You'll do that, Bert. Do that and turn the siren wide open. Merry Christmas, Bedford Falls. Hey, Merry Christmas, you wonderful old building and loan. Merry Christmas, Mr. Potter, yippee! Mary, I'm home. Have you seen my wife? Hey, what is this? These reporters? Hey, Merry Christmas, reporters.
Mr. Bailey, there's a deficit.
I know. $8,000, I bet, huh?
George, I got a little paper here.
I bet it's an award for my arrest. Isn't that wonderful? Merry Christmas. Wait, where's Mary, you know? Look at this old, wonderful, drafty house. Isn't it wonderful? Where's Mary?
Merry Christmas, Daddy. Merry Christmas.
Kids! Pete, Janie, tell me. I could eat you up. Where's your mother?
She went looking for you with Uncle Billy.
Daddy.
Zuzu, my little ginger snap. How do you feel?
Fine, Daddy. Now a smidge of temperature.
Not a smidge, hallelujah.
George, darling!
It's Mommy. Mommy's home.
Mary!
George, where have you been? Oh, George!
Mary, let me touch you. Oh, you're real.
Oh, George!
You have no idea what's happened to me.
You have no idea what's happened either. Come on in now. Come on quick. They're on their way.
Who's on their way? The police department? The FBI? The National Guard? Listen, I'm alive again, Mary. Listen, I'm alive again, Mary.
Come on in. Come on right here now. You stand right by the tree. Come in. Stand right here. Don't move.
Merry Christmas.
I hear them now, George. It's a miracle. Come on in. Everybody, in here.
Isn't it wonderful? Mary did it, George. Mary did it. She told a few people you're in trouble, and they scattered all over town collecting money. They didn't ask any questions, just said, if George is in trouble, you can count on me. You never saw anything like it.
What is this, George? Another run on the bank? Here you are. Merry Christmas.
The line forms to the right, Mr. Gower. Mr. Martini, Merry Christmas. Step right up.
I busted the jukebox, too.
Mr. Gower!
I made the rounds on my charge accounts.
Violet Vic!
I'm not gonna go, George. I changed my mind.
I wouldn't have a roof over my head if it weren't for you. Here you are, George. $242. I've been saving my money for a divorce. If I ever get a husband.
Merry Christmas, George.
Merry Christmas, Mother!
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Just a minute. Quiet, everybody. Quiet. A telegram from London.
Oh, London.
Mr. Gower cables need cash. Stop. My office instructed to advance you up to $25,000. Stop. Hee-haw, Merry Christmas. Sam Wainwright. Hello, George. How are you?
Harry?
Mary, looks like I got here a little too late.
Mary, I got him here from the airport as quickly as I could. This fool flew all the way up here in a blizzard.
Harry, how about your banquet in Washington?
Oh, I left right in the middle as soon as I got Mary's telegram.
How about some wine?
Good idea. A toast to my older brother. brother George, the richest man in town.
What's this book, George?
Tom Sawyer.
Look, there's an inscription.
George, remember, no man is a failure who has friends. Thanks for the wings. Love, Clarence.
What's that?
That's a Christmas present from a very dear friend of mine.
Look, Daddy. Teacher says every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings.
That's right. That's right. Attaboy, Clarence.
This has been WBFR Playhouse of the Air's presentation of It's a Wonderful Life. The WBFR Playhouse is brought to you this and every week by Bremel Hair Tonic and Duck's Toilet Cake. Please stay tuned for a program of popular holiday music. This is Freddie Fillmore signing off for WBFR Studio A in Manhattan, New York, and wishing you and yours a very Merry Christmas. Good night.
We're going to be around so you can talk to us and say hi.